Hello and welcome to another note to my 50-year-old self. My name is Taiwo. I am a transformational coach and trainer. I'm also the founder of the New 50, which is aimed at people who are approaching or at midlife and who are looking to reconnect with their power, step out of their comfort zone, create their next chapter, and live that chapter with authenticity, with confidence, and without worrying about what others may think of them. Now, today's note to my 50-year-old self is: you can define your midlife. So, what do I mean by that? When I was about 49, I didn't know what it was that I wanted to do. I knew that I didn't want to be doing what I was doing before, but I definitely didn't know what it was I wanted to do. I needed to get a job though. I had just finished a contract and I needed to get a job. It was at a time where the government were making huge cuts in public spending. So that meant that the work that I normally did as a contractor in local government went, because when cuts in public spending happen, the first thing that goes are the contract workers in local government, because they make all these redundancies, so they have to make work for the people that they may have to lay off. So I was trying to figure out what it was that I wanted to do. I didn't get the support that I needed to, and I would go to different places saying, look, I don't know what I want to do. I didn't even know about coaching in those days. I didn't realise that maybe I ought to have got myself a career coach. But I had no idea what it was that I wanted to do or what was possible for me, except one person told me that I was virtually unemployable because of my age. And I made a decision at that point that I was definitely going to prove that woman wrong. It was a woman who was a lot younger than me, by the way. And I was definitely going to prove her wrong. And that anyway, really, I didn't really want to be employed. I had to get work because I needed to live, but I didn't really want to be employed. And that nobody was really going to tell me that again. But it took me a while to get my groove and figure out what it is that I wanted to do. And why I'm saying that I would like to tell my 50-year-old self that you can define your midlife is because a little something of that probably stayed with me. And although I believe, and even when I was approaching midlife, I believed that it's not about being too old to do anything. There was a small part of me, I think, that maybe might have picked up a little bit on it. And obviously I've kind of shut all that away as the years have gone by. But one thing that I do see, as now there is more of there's a rise in coaches that work with people with midlife, people who are talking more about their midlife, is about people telling others what it should be. And I think that your midlife is your midlife. It's a time of your life where you are more yourself, or you have the opportunity to be more yourself than you ever have been. And it is your experience. It doesn't have to be a crisis. Some people call it a reinvention. Maybe it is that you're reinventing yourself. Some people call it a transition. Yes, we're going from one stage of our lives to a different stage, in the same way that you go from one stage of your life to another stage as you go from decade to decade. So it's up to you what midlife is and what your midlife is. For me, it was a journey. My midlife has been a journey, a spiritual journey, to find myself, to find my true self, or to re-find my true self, because my true self was there all the time. I just had to reconnect with her. And that has been my midlife, and that has been challenging, very, very challenging, but also really rich, really rewarding, and really empowering. It's really empowering to know that you can define what your life is, and not just your midlife, but your life from here on in is going to be. And it's for nobody else to tell you, because what we have to remember about ourselves, and I said this way, way, way back, and if you're just watching this for the first time, go back and watch my very first note to my 50-year-old self, is that we are magnificent beings. That's where we start. We don't start from what we're not. We start from what we are, and we are magnificent beings. So you define your midlife. Don't let anybody tell you, no anybody else tell you what your midlife should look like. Don't let me tell you, don't let anybody else tell you. You define your midlife. You can define your midlife, and you should. No, I'm not saying should. You should not. You can define your midlife, and you go ahead. If that's what you want to do, you go ahead and define what your midlife and beyond looks like. That's my note for today. I'll see you again really soon. Take care. Bye.